On the 10th of December 2025, a seemingly routine memorandum of understanding was signed between the Federal Inland Revenue Service and France Tax Authority, the GDFIP. Almost immediately, outrage followed. Politicians, professionals, and everyday citizens raised red flags. Was Nigeria about to export the tax data of its citizens to France? Were we outsourcing sovereignty under the guise of technical cooperation? In a country already plagued with data privacy and data breach issues, trust is no longer luxury. It's actually currency. The Nigeria Revenue Service, NRS, responded swiftly. No data sharing, they said. No exchange of taxpayer information. The MOU, according to the service, is strictly for technical assistance, capacity building, system strengthening, and institutional learning. They further assured Nigerians that the National Data Protection Act will be fully respected and that collaboration with local fintechs remain intact. Yet, questions remain. According to POSHARE, this type of agreement is not unusual. Tax authorities across the world routinely engage in bilateral cooperation to improve efficiency, digitalization, and compliance, especially as tax systems struggle to keep pace with a globalized digital economy. There has been many such agreements even in Nigeria. But despite the clarifications, POSHARE believes that the taxpayer information constitutes a critical national asset that reveals much about economic activity, wealth distribution, and corporate operations, and could provide a foreign power with strategic insights into Nigeria's fiscal landscape, potentially enabling economic espionage or geographical leverage in an era of digital colonialism. A number of previous agreements that later proved unworthy were also once described as standard, globally recognized cooperation framework. The concern is whether guardrails are in place to protect our national interest over foreign interests, elite capture, and policy abuse in the agreement. Without the National Revenue Service releasing the MOU to the public, it would be difficult to accept the NRS position on the protection of data and sovereign interests. Genuine transparency requires that the document be made available for independent technical examination rather than through press release summaries. The lesson from this episode is simple. Technical cooperation is not the problem. Poor public understanding is. And in tax matters where money, privacy, and sovereignty intercept, transparency is not optional. It's a mandate.
I would like to take a go. I love this advocacy, and based on my experience in being a part of partnership between government and also private sector, what I realize is there is usually a non-disclosure clause in most MOUs. So for NRS, trying to hold back on sharing the details of the MOU, it's not particularly out of place or strange. And I don't think that the focus should be on not sharing data, because the core of the MOU itself is digital transformation, information exchange, and leveraging on France's AI-powered audits.
According to what the NRS said.
According to what the NRS said. But even from what they said, you cannot train a machine learning, you cannot train an AI without data.
Yeah.
So there is definitely going to be data sharing.
Yeah.
But the question the conversation we should be having should be about ethical use of data and strict protocol for sharing, and the implementation of independent audits to ensure that, okay, say we all agree this is what we are doing, but are we doing it the right way? And then when it starts smelling like neocolonialism, that is when we need to pause and say, okay, what precisely are we doing here? Basically, Nigeria needs to stay woke. I know we have been romancing France for a bit, but again, slow down.
Elsie?
So they've come out to say no data sharing. I like how Zuma has broken it down, because if you're saying that you're going to use their AI-powered whatever, right? You need data to learn. And it will be interesting to see how that would play out without data sharing. I don't know. But again, like you said, ethical use of data. And they have said that the NDPA rather, which is Nigeria Data Protection Act, right? I believe it covers this, and the hope would be that they abide by the law, right? But this also speaks largely to the title of your advocacy already, a part of it, which is trust deficit. Yeah. The reason we are asking this question is because we do not trust the government. The average Nigerian do not want to have any relationship with the government because there's no trust there, right? you also said something about one of the lessons is poor public understanding. I think beyond that is poor communication, because we've always had communication issues when it comes to the government and the people, which is one of the things that's also feeding into the trust deficit. They need to begin to employ professionals that handle their communication. Yeah. Before a communication goes out, you know, people just think, oh, press release, anybody can write it, this is what we want to say. No. When you get a professional, they think of too many things. There's a 360 thought that goes into a press release that you see. How would people react? How would this make them feel? What is this? How is this going to position even the company or the government in the next 5 years? There's a lot that goes into it. But right now, everybody feels that anybody can be a communications person.
Okay, so my question is, what is the duty of National Assembly in this whole transaction? I mean, are they involved, or it is the prerogative of the president? Number two, can we know the benefits of our relationship with France? Because this France, is it that Nigeria is a new home since they have been chased away from Burkina Faso? You know, I'm just asking.
And also because we have been chased away from the US. So they're all looking for new lovers.
New lovers, thank you. So,
Yeah.
Everybody is on the streets.
You know, then my third question is, what happens to our own native AI and fintech gurus? Who are the brain behind, or who are the ones shifting culture all over the world in terms of fintech? What happens to them? Must we always employ or engage? It doesn't have to be white to be right. Thank you.
That ties into your conversation.
It doesn't have to be white to
So
be right.
that's exactly what my advocacy is about today. So mine is about colonization, recolonization, neocolonization. And my first question was just to ask, is it something that we cannot do ourselves? Must we always outsource everything? I went to a fintech conference in November, and I was blown away by the things that Nigerians...
Nigeria?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was blown away by the things that Nigerians are doing all across Africa. The amount of money they're bringing in, the technology that they've put in place, the brilliance, the minds. So what is going on? Is it everything that we must... This is another thing that we want to outsource again. So that concerns me, because I don't want to be recolonized. And I just think we're gradually being recolonized. See the GM foods coming, slipping in here and there. You know, little things here and there. Before you know what's happening, they are cumulative. With what is happening now, we've talked about communication. I will introduce education as well. I don't think that a lot of people even know what you're talking about, because even me, I have to think twice, you know, what is it talking about? You know, it's heavy for some people. The tax in itself is overwhelming for a lot of people, which I believe we're still going to talk about today.
Yeah.
It's in itself. So when we now talk about data issues and things like that, I'm not sure if a vast majority of the society even understands that this is happening. I think it's just somewhere, it's not even anywhere. It's just for the 1% of the 1% intellectuals like you that are talking about it at the moment.
Yeah.
But for me, what really concerns me is we can do it. We have brilliant minds. Even abroad, you find that a lot of the things that are being pioneered, or doctors, tech people, they are Nigerians.
Yeah.
Innovation, they are Nigerians. So we can...
Several years ago, PayPal, remember them? They blocked Nigerians and just basically said Nigerians cannot open an account or transact through them. And what happened? Okay, a lot of Nigerians were affected, but then we had Flutterwave, we had Paystack, and we had, you know, some of these big fintechs coming out and providing that service. And guess what now? PayPal is coming back to Nigeria. They say, oh, by the way, we now think we want to start doing business. At some point, Nigerians have to say, look, we can do this.
We can do it.
And we don't need foreign collaboration. Well, maybe foreign collaborations, but we don't need them. We can do this ourselves.
We don't need
and I think that's the
validation.
message. Transparency can be likened to window viewed from two sides. And as such, both parties need to ensure it is clear enough to enable good visibility.